For more than 10 years, Wu Qilin has spent much of his time gazing at the river outside his house in a daze. When he feels restless, he releases his emotions by writing on yellow rice paper. A few years ago, Wu Qilin started to learn to play the erhu. There's a gallery bridge not far from his home. Whenever he has spare time, he goes and stays there for a while. Wu Qilin knows that in the eyes of others, he's an eccentric man.
They gave me a nickname, Nerd Wu, Big Nerd Wu.
Wu Qilin is a preservationist with the Cultural Bureau in Ching-Yuen County, Zhejiang Province.
Honestly speaking, I have spent more energy and money on maintaining and protecting wooden arch bridges than on building my own house.
This is the reason why Wu has been so unhappy over the past 10 years. A 1,000-year-old gallery bridge, Mungyu Bridge, was completely destroyed by a big fire in 1995.
It was really heartbreaking. It saddened me a lot.
There are two reasons this bridge hasn't been rebuilt so far. The first is a financial problem. The second reason is even more worrying.
For quite a long period of time, wooden arch bridges were mostly forgotten. So were the techniques involved in making these bridges. We haven't built any gallery bridges for decades. This has led to a lack of talent familiar with this craft.
Ching-Yuen sits in southwestern Zhejiang, where the province meets with Fujian province. The place is densely populated with mountains and rivers. People here have always faced difficulties trying to survive in such an environment. Roads have been carved in mountains and bridges have been built over streams. These are the earliest techniques pioneered by residents of Ching-Yuen. Wooden arch bridges are simple in structure but are extraordinarily firm. Their shapes resemble rainbows. That's why they're also called rainbow-style wooden gallery bridges. They were popular in the Northern Sung dynasty. Constructing this type of traditional Chinese wooden structure bridge involves the most complicated techniques. It's unique in China and has a very high traditional aesthetic value. After the end of the Northern Sung dynasty, such bridges started to disappear. The last notable appearance of one was in the painting Along the River during the Qingming Festival by Zhang Zeduan.
In that painting, the bridge didn't have a roof, but in southern Zhejiang, wooden arch bridges all have roofs. Also, the bridge in the painting uses the binding structure, but the mortise and tenon structure was applied in our bridges, and they don't use any nails. That's huge progress.
More than 900 years later, wooden arch bridges are again found in the mountainous areas here. Ching-Yuen, known as the traditional hometown of China's gallery bridges, has nearly 100 gallery bridges of different types. Among them, more than 20 are wooden arch bridges. Historical records say that Futian Bridge and Shuangmen Bridge were built in the Sung dynasty. They are nearly 1,000 years old. They're the eldest wooden arch bridges according to record. They're more than 100 years older than the Rainbow Bridge in the painting Along the River during the Qingming Festival. Bridges built in the Yuan dynasty include Mungyu Bridge, Banluping Bridge, and Yonggui Bridge. The rest were built in the Ming and Qing dynasties. The eldest existing wooden arch bridge from this period is Rulong Bridge. It was first built in 1625 and is some 390 years old today. The bridge has strong Sung dynasty features. It's a living fossil of a bridge. It has a high historical, artistic, and scientific value. Many locals in Ching-Yuen make a living from their expert woodworking skills. Hu Miao is one of them. He started learning woodworking from his father at 16. He's been supporting himself as a carpenter since then.
I moved to the urban areas in 1997. Life was simple and crude. We made a living as migrant workers. I had 2 children at that time. My family moved from the countryside to the county. Sometimes we got a bit luckier and we received more projects. We managed to earn more money. Life was just so-so back then, and we pulled through.
Hu Miao's skills in building gallery bridges are recognized as intangible cultural heritage. Many people have invited him to direct gallery bridge reconstructions. In early March 2013, Hu Miao received a guest from afar in his office. Wutongyang village was inviting him to help reconstruct a destroyed gallery bridge there. It was their first meeting that day. Every time he receives a client, he shows them this gallery bridge model. He places special value in it. This is the first step Hu Miao made towards his dream.
When I was an apprentice, I saw bridges with experienced craftsmen's names on them. I was thinking one day, when I master this skill, I will also be able to leave my name on a bridge.
Though this long-cherished dream has been mostly replaced with reality, it still remains somewhere deep within Hu Miao's heart. Hearsay about the reconstruction of a gallery bridge ignites his passion.
I only heard they were going to reconstruct a bridge. I had no idea where it was. Later, I received some information about the Mungyu Bridge, and I started with making this model. What do we do with chopsticks? We use them to build a simplified model of a wooden arch bridge. Let me show you.
Hu Miao hoped this attempt would change his destiny. Using this, he could figure out the secrets of the gallery bridge.
Back then, I placed all my concentration in it. I stopped all other work. I devoted all my time to researching the technique. I hope to figure out how to build a gallery bridge.
This is the sketch Hu Miao drew. For 9 months of that year, he gave up making a living. He spent all his time repeatedly calculating and experimenting at home.
I made that bridge model in our county. I spent 7 days and nights on the installation alone. I was also protecting it. I was making it as well as guarding it. When I visited his home, his mother told me her son had barely slept over the last few days. She said her son cried quite a few nights. The young man's spirit moved me.
Wu Qilin made a decision at that moment. He decided to pass down the secrets of gallery bridge construction to this young carpenter. This bridge is called Lanshi Bridge. In the 1970s, because of the construction of a reservoir, this 1,000-year-old bridge faced the danger of demolition. Wu Qilin protested vociferously to retain the ancient bridge, and it was later moved here.
I told my mother that a local legend has it that tearing down this bridge will cost 3 people's lives if I died. I asked her not to return my body to Ching-Yuen or our hometown. I wanted to be buried just beneath the bridge.
Although relocating Lanshi Bridge was not a smooth process, it turned out to be safe in the end. Because of this experience, Wu also managed to learn directly from a master builder of gallery bridges.
I might have impressed him with my determination and seriousness, or he might have found it no longer possible to keep the secret from me. I had figured out the basic principles of the wooden arch bridge, referred to as the big and small ox heads. We call them the heart structure of the bridge. There are no other major things.
But Wu Qilin is not a carpenter. He has absolutely no facility with bridge construction. As he gets older, he's eager to find someone to pass on the secret as to how a gallery bridge is able to stand steadily for thousands of years.
First, the man should understand the construction of a gallery bridge, the basic principles and some foundational engineering concepts. Second, the man should be very familiar with carpentry work. He should have at least 3 years' experience with independent carpentry work. 3 years means he would have finished his apprenticeship. So, he's familiar with carpentry work, engineering wooden arch bridges, and their construction techniques.
Wu Qilin believes that Hu Miao is the right person for the job. He believes Hu will eventually make a good gallery bridge designer. The first challenge Hu Miao faced was with precise calculations.
The fundamental question is whether your calculations are precise. If they're not, once the wooden pillars are placed, they will not stand there for long. They have to withstand wind and rain. If the calculations are not precise, strong winds can bring down a bridge.
Hu Miao is just a junior middle school graduate. He has no professional construction background, but he's very diligent. With repeated trials, Hu found a new method that enabled him to calculate faster and more accurately. That was the trigonometric function. It can generate data more quickly.
Our village wants to build a gallery bridge. Okay, please help us design it. I'll need some basic information. How wide is your riverbed? It's probably 25 or 26 meters wide. Okay, around 25 meters. What's the average water level? The maximum water level in recent years has been around 2.2 meters. 2.2 meters. Let me do some rough calculations to determine what kind of materials, how much material will be needed. Let me do some rough calculations. How much will this likely cost?
10 minutes later, using his own methods, Hu Miao figured out how much wooden material would be needed. He also knows how to use online maps to collect data about the location. He doesn't need to visit the place to get precise data.
When choosing a direction, we can tell from online maps the angle of the direction. We can tell the exact angle.
In 2010, local villagers eventually saved enough money to rebuild Mungyu Bridge. They looked for help from Wu Qilin. Recommended by Wu, Hu Miao was chosen as designer and director of the project.
I asked him to strictly follow traditional carpentry practices. It had to be very precise. In this way, he would earn the title of designer and director. Also, the money saved to rebuild the bridge was donated by the villagers. They earned it by hard toil. It was not easy money. No penny should be wasted. If I fail at my first attempt, I will regret it for the rest of my life.
Hu Miao got up very early the second day. As the director of the project, he needed to go to Mount Chaoshan to select wood materials in person. The local villagers pooled their money together and purchased the mountain to build this gallery bridge. It is red wood that mainly grows here. The wood is exclusively for the construction and repair of wooden arch bridges. Because wooden arch bridges are soaked in vapor and fog all year round, there are particular demands on the wooden materials used for construction. Wood used needs to be old redwood, the kind that grows on the southern side of a mountain facing the sun. This type of wood doesn't rot easily and thus can prolong the life of a bridge. The chosen redwood was sent to a factory for processing. As director, Hu Miao has to know the purpose of each and every piece of wood and its size. The smallest details affect the future destiny of a gallery bridge. The position of each mortise, their respective depths, the size of each wooden nail all contribute to deciding whether a bridge will be firm and steady enough. As designer and director, Hu Miao supervised every step in person. He knew though this procedure seemed simple, it was especially important.
The mortise's size should precisely match the tenon. Their precision must be 100% identical with each other. Otherwise, it will be loose.
All the materials have been processed. In accordance with local custom, they have to select an auspicious day to assemble them. They settled on 6 a.m. December the 12th, 2010 to start assembling Mungyu Bridge.
At the launch of the project, we held a ritual to offer sacrifices to the river god. It was held on an auspicious day. We killed a pig to pay tribute. The river god is a local legend. We offered the sacrifice in the hopes that he might bless the bridge construction process. We hoped that nothing unexpected would happen in the process. May God bless us. We were about to build the bridge. This is quite a big project in the countryside. To a certain extent, it upended much of the terrain. On the question of acquiring a balance between humankind and nature, these kind of rituals are essentially performed to allow for more convenient traffic. People are praying for forgiveness from the gods.
This part of the sacrificial ritual is known as fa chui, literally meaning sending out the hammer. That's how people pay tribute to Lu Ban, the famous Chinese carpenter. After that, the bridge assembly officially began.
Prosperity and wealth, good fortune and great profit.
The first part to be assembled is the bridge's arch. The basic structure of an arch is composed of a 3-segment arch, king posts, a 5-segment arch, a scissor-sized arch, a bridge plate, and ox heads. The 3-segment arch is the first to be built. Based on the width of a river, workers choose between 7 and 11 old redwood posts as the longitudinal beams. One side of them is made into swallow-tailed mortise and placed on the horizontal skid beam laid on the stone pier. The other side is made into tenon and connected with a wooden square beam of high tenacity and firmness, known as the big ox head. Together this forms a slanting 3-segment arch. It's the same on the other side of the bridge pier. Between the 2 slanting 3-segment arches, workers insert the same number of wooden beams to form an L-form support. To erect a king post on each side of the three-segment arch, place beams between the two king posts. Make sure the king posts cling closely to the bridge platform and form an angle with the three-segment arches. With the three-segment arches as the support, weave in the five-segment arches. The slanting arches, small ox head, and beams are all constructed using the same theory. After it's done, the five-segment arches and three-segment arches are weaved together completely to support the weight from the bridge. This is called the ox head. It's the most important component of the bridge arch structure. Its quality decides the longevity of a bridge. Hu Miao adopted a traditional method to place the big ox head at the desired position. Now comes the assembling of the three-segment arch. Workers roll the wood towards the big ox head. They then connect the tenon side with the big ox head and then lower down the other side slowly. After the three-segment arches are done, a few king posts need to be erected. That's all the work for Hu Miao and his team today.
When the bridge was being assembled, many local villagers came to watch. Many people gathered there. If workers appeared exhausted from the work that day, the villagers would feel satisfied. On the contrary, if the job had been completed relatively painlessly, the villagers were not happy. They knew the bridge wouldn't be able to stand long. It's in the open air and has to endure wind and rain. It has to withstand the test. The local villagers were clearly aware of that. 1, 2, 3.
If the work can be completed easily, that means the mortise is too big and loose for the tenon. The bridge will easily go out of shape and won't be durable. Of course, it can't be too tight either. That might twist the arch structure. It might also affect durability. After the three-segment arches are completed, a wooden log in the middle needs to be installed. This log has to be redwood sourced from the south side of a mountain. It can't be too old or too young. The log needs to be installed on an auspicious day.
Fui! Fui! San Fui! Good fortune and great profit for all! We shouted out some auspicious words on the day. We are all apprentices of Lu Ban. We needed to say something with resonance on sight. Like, let there be seasonable weather for crop raising, let the country flourish, and the people live in peace.
After the three-segment arches are completed, the scaffolding is dismantled. The installation of the five-segment arches needs to be finished on the just completed three-segment arches.
We took the budget very seriously. We wanted to save as much as we could. When the supports were firm and steady, we decided we no longer needed the scaffolding.
On this day, Hu Miao's father came to the site. Having been a carpenter for much of his life, Hu Miao's father was very nervous for his son.
We started this trade when we were young. We were comparatively more fearless, like how we travel on long bridges all the time. The more we practice, the more skilled we get.
Problems, however, still occurred on the day. The 5-segment arches didn't fit perfectly, and Hu Miao had no idea what went wrong.
Inspired by Mr. Wu, I thought maybe there was a problem with the angle. We decided to turn it into a slanting angle, so it could become a supporting point instead of a stress point. That was a major change, and it all happened with a simple change of angle.
The change in the angle decided the destiny for this bridge. The secret behind the long-standing wooden arch bridges lies in the perfect match between mortise and tenon. After the 5-segment arches are built, the scissor-sized arches follow. They play a role in preventing the bridge from swinging. There's also another structure known as a grasshopper's leg, built to further consolidate the bridge's stability. Half a month later, the arch part of the Mungyu Bridge was completed. Hu Miao and his team needed to get started with the gallery part above the arch structure. The gallery usually adopts a post and lintel frame with 4 pillars and 9 crossbeams. This kind of structure is called a feng. It's composed of a peripheral column and a principal column, among other things. This is the king post. The peripheral column is made of bulky straight wood. It connects directly with the wooden arch structure. Different feng are connected in this way to form an overall beam column structure. The roof part is built in a magnificent style. Both sides of the gallery are covered with boards to prevent the damage that wind, rain, snow, and frost can cause to the wooden structure. 3 months later, the gallery part was almost complete. A major column had still to be placed, the core pillar of the entire bridge. Local custom has it that wood should be cut down only on an auspicious occasion.
This pillar is the core of the bridge. It's the most important thing. Villagers even regard it as a holy object with divine spirit.
Early in the morning, Hu Miao, bringing his men, set out for the mountain to cut wood.
We went to the southern side of the mountain. There were 2 trees. We fetched a section from the bigger tree and left the smaller tree there so it could carry on growing. This wine is no common wine. It's brewed by the Queen of Heaven. Now this holy wine is served for you.
It was a special day for Hu Miao. He finally realized his childhood dream of leaving his mark on a gallery bridge.
I might be able to build only a few bridges in my lifetime. So after each one is built, I'm going to leave my mark. My name and the era when the bridge was built is like leaving behind a memory. It also serves as proof of a craftsman's capabilities.
When the beams were placed, a feast was held and everyone was treated to wine. It was to celebrate the completion of the bridge. It also served to extend gratitude to the builders and financial donors. In the fall of 2011, Mungyu Bridge was eventually completed after more than a year. Many people came to pay tribute to the new gallery bridge. The newly built Mungyu Bridge also received a group of special visitors. They were teachers and students from the Department of Architecture at Lehigh University. They came all the way to Ching-Yuen to observe gallery bridges, and they happened to see the newly completed Mungyu Bridge. Workers were busy building the floor. Students and teachers were immediately attracted to the strange setting. They had no idea that these natural materials comprised a miraculous rainproof layer for the bridge. The bridge deck is first paved with wooden planks. Then people use indocalamus leaves, wooden coal, silver sand, pebblestone, and cobblestone to further prevent damage from rain. Cobblestone roads wear extremely well. They remain fairly intact even after hundreds of years. On March 15, 2013, a donation ceremony was held in Wutongyang village in Ching-Yuen. Local villagers had made a deal with Humiao to rebuild a destroyed gallery bridge from their village. This is the main organizer, Wu Yuanlong. Before his retirement, he used to be the deputy head of the county. He's passionate about public welfare. He's dedicated to the restoration of his hometown's gallery bridge.
It was 60 years ago, but it's just as fresh in my memory. When I was young, I used to play on the bridge a lot. We ran about on the bridge, climbing up and down. We're emotionally attached to this bridge. I have many nice memories from my childhood.
The construction of this gallery bridge will start in April. At the construction site, the builders are building a platform. After it's built, the bridge construction work will officially start. After building a few gallery bridges, Humiao has proved to be both a capable designer and director of gallery bridges. This has deeply comforted Wu Qilin, who was pleased that what scared him the most didn't happen.
Our ancestors managed to build these kinds of bridges. As an official responsible for cultural preservation, I will have performed my duty if I can ensure these traditions are maintained and passed down to the next generation. Failure means dereliction of my duty. I would surely feel guilty facing both my ancestors and my children.
The pressure on Humiao is immense. He's faced with the uncertain future of the craft of gallery bridge construction.
It's likely that there will be fewer gallery bridges in the future that need to be rebuilt. There have been quite a few cases in recent years, but in the near future, numbers will drop significantly.
At Wu Qilin's suggestion, Humiao registered a heritage-styled architecture company at the end of last year.
Sometimes we don't receive any gallery bridge construction projects for the whole year. We might only get one every few years. We need to maintain our skills. But migrant workers also need to make a living. They have to find other jobs to sustain their lifestyles. So we work together.
Over the past 2 years, the cost of construction has continued to rise. The sacrifice needed in order to retain talent in gallery bridge construction has meant Hu Miao can't afford to replace his motorcycle with a car. Today, he still rides the motorcycle he bought 8 years ago to his clients and to construction sites. He hopes that one day he can make a living with the craft that he's so fond of.